My name is Jared Hyder, and this is my presentation on Over-Organization and Brave New World and Brave New World Revisited by Aldous Huxley. So for my intro, Aldous Huxley, he has dystopian views on society, which he presents in his book Brave New World and explains it more in depth in his work of Brave New World Revisited. He explains how, in my chapter of over-organization, how that can work to hurt society and hurt the people living within it. So within this chapter, he begins by talking about big businesses and how they will take over society and ruin it for others. And by this, he really means how big businesses are becoming powerful and they're starting to crush small businesses and run them out of business. For the technological advances, he explains how it's harmful to society, and through the media, people like politics and the government can influence people's thoughts, feelings, and even actions in the world. He also states that the more advanced the technology gets means the more complicated the machinery gets, what makes it more expensive to pay for. So this means that only a select few of the people who couldn't afford that technology will be able to buy it while the rest are falling behind. And with the media, it's very influential, especially in modern day, now that when people like political elections, their main way of getting votes is commercials and through social media and trying to reach people in that way. When he talks about uniformity and freedom, he explains how those two are not compatible in any way. And he then goes on to state how William White's book, The Organization Man, and how it explains how a new social ethic is replacing our traditional ethical ways of an individual and how that comes first, and how the new social ethical system is more towards teamwork and group living and also group thinking. So instead of being an individual and being one that thinks for himself first, it's starting to go towards more of being a group as a whole and everyone wanting to be together rather than go their own ways and look for their own views on certain things. For over-organization and overpopulation, he talks about how they work as one, and this mainly goes towards how mass production and mass distribution is very helpful towards the big businesses, and the small businesses who can't afford to do those type of things within their business are starting to fall behind because they can't produce for the amount of people that are in the world nowadays. So the overpopulation is really hurting the community because the small businesses within it are getting hurt by the mass production, mass distribution, which is demanded of businesses now. And for the overall, he explains how over-organization is very dangerous, and this is because it can lead to tyranny within the government, as well as people becoming more automated and turning into robots rather than being themselves and being individuals and thinking for themselves. So for Brave New World Revisited and how it relates to Brave New World, first it talks about, in Brave New World Revisited, it talks about sexual freedom and how in Brave New World they're able to have sexual intercourse with people whenever they want. And the government, like they're thinking of this way, is because it gives them the opportunity to not be enslaved by their mind and just be able to do it whenever they want, which leads them to thinking they don't have any conflict and they have no reason to go against the government. So sexual freedom is the government's way in Brave New World of getting their people under them to stay within the system and not fight back. The World State Government, that's the government of the Brave New World book, and they're the ones who control everything, who's making them be within the caste system, have the sexual freedom. And the caste system really plays a part with the over-organization part, because the caste system shows how every block on the caste system plays a different part, as there's a top with the alphas and the very bottom. And it just shows how everyone needs a place in society, and you're always going to need those people to do the dirty work, but then there also has to be leaders within the society. In this quote within Brave New World Revisited, it states that in a world of mass production and mass distribution, the little man, which are the small businesses, with his inadequate stock of working capital, is at a grave disadvantage. So this shows that even though that the small businesses are very helpful towards the community, with overpopulation, this isn't going to help because they don't have enough goods and enough materials, enough resources to provide for everyone within the community as it's rapidly growing. Over-organization and its relevance in modern day. So, as in modern day, Aldous Huxley explains in his Brave New World Revisited that over-organization will eventually lead to tyranny, and their excuse for their will to order is to clean up the mess that's been started. But that's really just to have complete control over society, which will eventually oppress them. Sexuality freedom. So with this is mainly going towards the LGBTQ community and how people nowadays feel the need to change their sexuality in order for them to be free and in order for them to feel happy with themselves. But with this, and with McDonald's and Walmart, those are two of the main big businesses. One is a grocery store and one is fast food that are running small businesses out of business. These businesses have mass production and mass distribution, in which they know that the public will come to them for anything that they need, and that really helps them out but hurts the small businesses. In this quote, it states, "Too much organization transforms men and women into automata, suffocates the creative spirit, and abolishes the very possibility of freedom." So this is pretty much saying that when you have over-organization, this is transforming society into robots. So this is taking them away from their creative minds and thinking individually, which is their freedom, and putting them into a system where they believe what they are taught, and that's all. So in conclusion, Aldous Huxley's views on over-organization are still relevant in the modern world as it's affecting today's society. And rather than looking at social media or sex change, people need to start finding happiness and pride in their true selves, rather than going to